And we want to give you all a bit of a warning that this next segment may contain some disturbing content. Ukraine's Attorney General and a team of prosecutors with the International Criminal Court and the UN Special Representative on Violence and War have all accused Russian troops of weaponizing rape in Ukraine. In areas retaken from Russian troops, innocent Ukrainian civilians are coming forward and giving disturbing accounts of sexual violence. Ukraine's Prosecutor General reportedly has at least 50 cases ongoing, but these numbers are changing every day.
There is, it appears, forensic evidence, solid evidence of women whose bodies have been found, and with evidence indicating rape. This is very serious. Whatever reports are surfacing, they can only represent the tip of the iceberg.
Two women who deeply know the history of war rape in Europe, Lejla Damon and filmmaker Teresa Turiera. Lejla was born out of rape from the Bosnian War and was brave enough to tell her story to Teresa and the world in a new award-winning documentary on the survivors of war rape during the Bosnian War. They both join me now. So glad to have you two with me to talk about this. It's important to talk about. It's important to stay in the headlines. And Lejla, with your background being so fragile, your biological mom giving birth to you after being raped during war, what is going through your heart and your mind as you hear about these allegations once again, but this time in Ukraine?
Thank you for having me. Yeah, firstly, I'd just like to say, like, the allegations that are coming out of Ukraine at the moment, it's incredibly disturbing, seriously distressing. I think all our hearts are with the Ukrainian people, and especially the women that are going through this. Like, it's one of those things that rape is used as a weapon of war, and it's used to dehumanize and desensitize a society. And the trauma and the long-lasting effects that rape have on the society and the second generation, as I'm a second generation girl born out of sexual violence, it's really hard to overcome, and that shame and stigma will linger for a long time. So watching the Ukrainian war unfold in the early weeks was incredibly painful and very triggering. But yeah, as Pramila said, like, it's only the tip of the iceberg in terms of some of the documentation and the evidence that has come out so far, I believe.
Well, Lejla, you have just turned out to be such a beautiful woman and an advocate for something that continues to happen and needs to be talked about. So we salute you in so many ways. And Teresa, if you don't mind, let's take a quick look, a clip from your documentary, There's Still Someone in the Woods, where you feature Lejla.
Tako je, ali ja mislim, ja lično ne mislim da to tako treba. Mislim da trebalo na sve strane da se to hvata I da se...
Strašno. A sve su ubile. Ali dušu još sam nis. Duša je ostala. Eto, sve mogu ubiti, sam ne mogu dušu ubiti.
Silovao, čak sad oni se kriju od nas, jer se boji svake izjave da neće biti prozvan.
Wow, Teresa, why did you want to create this film, and what are your thoughts as you hear about the same type of crime being carried out against the women of Ukraine?
Well, as you know, Kira, the media move very fast when it comes time to cover a conflict, but also when it comes time to leave. So we asked ourselves what had happened to war rape survivors 30 years later and whether justice had been done. In Bosnia, as you know, for the first time in history, the International Criminal Court defined rape as a war crime. This means that it does not expire. But even so, most of the survivors were completely left alone, and they were not even considered war victims until a few years ago. And only if they could prove rape and with evidence or witnesses, which is very difficult in a war context. Now in Ukraine, unfortunately, we see that rape is still being used to intimidate the population and perpetuate the consequences of war in the next generation. But at least both the International Criminal Court and the Ukrainian prosecutors are already collecting this evidence of the war rapes that have been committed by the Russian troops.
I already see your next documentary coming. And Lejla, how did you and your biological mom get through this together? I know it wasn't easy for her at first, and I know it wasn't easy for you as you learned about what had happened.
I think for both of us, it has been a journey. Like, it's been a journey of kind of discovery, but also an incredible amount of pain. I have an enormous respect and love for my birth mother and the decisions that she had to make through no fault of her own, and the things that she's experienced and her entire strength and resilience to overcome them have just been incredible. But in terms of our relationship, it's ever growing. We missed quite a lot of time together. In the beginning, we didn't meet until I was in my mid-20s, and so every time kind of I go back and visit, and we're building that relationship when we have those kind of anomalies that families do have. And it's just great to see that there is like a healing part of this journey, because it has been so hard in terms of kind of where I think I lie, and being a child born out of sexual violence is very kind of, it is confusing and disconcerting, especially growing up, knowing where you come from and how you were made. So I think for both of us, it's been a very healing journey, and it's only at the beginning, which is amazing. But I think it's helped so much of the painful aspects to this story in general. And I think going back and visiting is such an honor and a privilege. So she's an amazing woman.
Well, it's incredible to see the strength from both of you, like mother, like daughter. Teresa, finally, as we hear about these allegations of war rape, Bosnian war crime survivors are coming forward and urging Ukrainian women now to persevere and also to document these crimes. What do you want to see happen in Ukraine now?
Well, let me, Kira, say that in the case of Bosnia, these children who were born from the seed of hatred now represent incredible love stories for their mothers, whether they decided to keep them or give them up for adoption. Lejla and the Forgotten Children of War Association from Bosnia do an amazing job fighting against stigma, helping their mothers to heal. And not only in Bosnia, they are developing protocols to follow for children born of war rapes anywhere, like now in Ukraine. So what I would like to see is local and international institutions prioritizing in their agendas the medical and psychological support that these women will need to face a trial, and also they have to protect these children who may be born because of these rapes.
Well, I have to say, as we wrap up, Teresa, you and I were young journalists together in Spain more than 30 years ago. It's such an honor to see the work that you're doing and to highlight you. Lejla, what an example you are for others. You are a survivor and an incredible human being. And I thank both of you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kira.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.